very good morning everyone. Today we will be studying the unit 11 of our course AGCon 102, and herein we will be studying about supply and its related concepts. Hello, I am Dr. Sanjay, Assistant Professor in the Department of Agricultural Economics, CCS HAU sir, and I will be your tutor for the course. So these are the things we will be discussing in this chapter. What is stock and what is supply? What's the difference actually? And what is law of supply? What is the supply schedule and the curve? What are the things that affect the supply? And what is the concept of elasticity of supply? What do we mean by it? And what are the things that affect elasticity of supply? And in the end, some suggested readings. So what is stock and what is supply? Stock is the total quantity of a commodity that can be brought to the market. Alright, let's say SR has only one storehouse in its outskirts, and that is storing the total quantity of potatoes in it. Okay, so the owner of the storehouse can bring, let's say the capacity is 1000 quintals. So this is the total quantity of potatoes that can be brought to the market of Hisar. So this will be called as stock. But this is not going to happen. He is not going to clear out all his quantity at one go unless there is an emergency. So stock makes something that is called as supply. You know, various quantities, smaller, bigger quantities are going to be offered for sale at different prices. Let's say the price in the market is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is rising in this manner, price per kg of potato. So how much is the quantity that owner of that storehouse is going to supply? Let's say he is going to supply 100 quintals, 200 quintals at this supply, 300 quintals at this price, and at 500 at rupees 5 he is going to supply the rest of the quantity available. Alright, so as you can see, as the price is rising, his quantity supplied is rising, because at higher prices his profit margin is higher. So supply is a schedule, that means a table of various quantities that will be offered for sale at various prices. At different prices, the different quantities that are going to be offered for sale makes up supply. So what is actually law of supply? Law of supply states that as the price of a commodity or a good increases, the quantity available, or that the quantity offered for sale in the market increases. This simply means as the quantity supplied varies directly with price, because as the price increases, quantity supplied in the market increases. These two things move in the same direction. What are the assumptions of this law? When this law stands true, this law stands true in case of some assumptions. There are some things that are to be kept in mind or to be kept constant for this law to stand true, such as the price of inputs remains constant, technology of production of that good remains constant, it does not change. Firms aim at maximizing profit. There are different objectives A, B, C. Some firms aim at maximizing revenue, that means maximizing sales. Some firms aim at maximizing growth, and most of the firms aim at maximizing profits. So this is the thing that is most relevant for our law to stand true, that most of the firms aim at maximizing profits. Alright, so assumptions of ceteris paribus means uh, things that are supposed to be constant, everything else remaining constant. Supply varies directly with price. What is a supply function? Wherever you read the word function, it is a mathematical relationship. Okay, it states that quantity supplied of good X is a function of the price of good X. Everything else remaining constant. Just write CP. Everything else remaining constant. What are those things? Those things? Those things are state of technology, prices of other factors that are going to be used in the production of that good X. Those all remain constant. And when you write this equation in this form, put a bar on those factors which are supposed to remain constant. This bar means constant quantity. Alright, supply schedule and a supply curve. As I've told you, Supply schedule consists of two columns. One is price per kg and one is quantity supplied. It need not to be price per kg. For the sake of example only, as the price increases, the quantity supplied increases. And we put this price on y-axis and quantity supplied on x-axis. As you can see here, the graph we get is upward sloping, and this graph, this curve is called as a supply curve. This is a supply schedule, that is a supply table, and this is a supply curve. Why does this happen? Why does this happen that when the price increases, more and more quantity is going to be supplied? When the price increases, what happens is the profit margin increases. When the profit margin increases, more and more suppliers come in the business. Okay, start producing that thing that leads to increase in supply. People who had earlier stored their commodity, they for the for the want of a higher price and a higher margin and a higher profit, they will you know uh, move out or clear out their stocks. So there are different reasons. As the price increases, the profit that is going to be earned by people either who have stored that produce or who are going to enter in that business to produce more, enter into business, open new factories, increase the supply. So it all happens because of the sake of profit. When the price increases, and as I've told you in the earlier in this slide, that prices of inputs remain constant. That means when the price increases, supply increases, and for increasing the supply you will be needing inputs. When your demand for inputs increases, then its price should remain constant. And if the price is constant, that means the cost of producing those things is remaining constant. And when the price is continuously increasing, price minus the cost, this thing is increasing, this thing is remaining constant, that means margin or profit is increasing, which leads to increase in supply. So these are the reasons behind it. Profit is the ultimate guide. What are the changes in supply? First is movement along the supply curve, and second is shifts in supply curve. What are the movements along the supply curve called? Let's say this is the price in the market and this is the quantity supplied in the market of a commodity. And when the price increases, as you know by the law of supply curve, the quantity supplied increases. This is called as extension. Increase in quantity supplied due to increase in price is called as extension of supply, and vice versa, decrease in quantity supplied due to decreased price is called as contraction of supply. So extension and contraction happen along the supply curve, same supply curve. And the second type of movement is shift in supply curve. What are those shifts? So let's say this is our initial supply curve. Alright, at price P1, quantity supplied was, let's say, Q1. So what do we call as increase in supply? Increase in supply means when at the same price P1, the quantity supplied, that is this thing, increases from Q1 to Q2. Q1 to Q2 at same price P1, more quantity supplied, that is quantity supplied increase from Q1 to Q2, then in that case we can call that the supply curve has moved towards the right. Alright, and this is called as increase in supply. Okay, when at the same price quantity, when at the earlier price quantity supplied increases, okay, then we can call it as increase in supply. And when the supply increases, the supply curve moves towards the right. Okay, it can, the increase in supply can also be stated as that earlier quantity, same supply, that is Q1 is supplied at a lower price now, P0. Let's see this, P0. So there are two ways of explaining increase in supply. One is at the same price or at the earlier price, more quantity supplied. This thing, and earlier quantity is now supplied at a lower price. So these two things mean increase in supply. Just draw this diagram and draw inferences out of it. You will understand. What do we mean by decrease in supply? When at the same price, that is at P1, less quantity is supplied. Now Q0 is being supplied. Okay. When, or you can say that same quantity, same supply, that is Q1 is now being supplied at a higher price, P2. So these two things, when the same quantity is supplied at a higher price, this makes up this point, and at the same price less quantity is being supplied, that is at this point. And when we join these 2 points, it makes a supply curve which is to the left of the original supply curve. Movement of supply curve towards left is called as decrease in supply, movement towards right is called as increase in supply. And you can interpret the increase and decrease in two different manners. Draw this diagram, write it once, you will understand properly. I hope you might have understood right now also. What are the things that determine the shifts in supply? Okay, so the changes in supply, the contraction and extension, are purely related to the changes in price of that good only. Okay, so when the price increases, the profit margin of that goods increase, because the inputs that are going to be used in producing those supplied goods is same, so that cost remains the same and price is increasing, so the profit margin is definitely going to increase. And when the profit margin increases, more and more sellers are going to come in the market, and which will lead to increase in supply. Alright, this is a phenomena, uh, that is when the price increases, the supply increases. Okay, so this is called as extension of supply. So extension and contraction are purely guided by the increase or decrease in the price of that commodity only. Okay, and what leads to shifts in supply curve? There are other factors, number 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7. These are the factors that affect the, that lead to shift in the supply curve. When the prices of inputs increases, so when the prices of inputs increases, then what happens? What happens is the marginal cost or the cost of producing those inputs in those output, that product increases. And when the cost increases, definitely the supplier is going to charge a higher price for that thing. And when you're selling the same quantity, earlier quantity, at higher price, what does it mean? It means decrease in supply. Go refer to the previous slide wherein I was talking about decrease in supply. When the same quantity or the earlier quantity is now supplied at a higher price, because the cost of production of that product has increased, so this leads to decrease in supply, because the product demand has now increased. More product is demanded now, so more product, more inputs, higher price of inputs. Higher price of inputs, that definitely the price that is going to be charged for that product is going to be increased, and which leads to decrease in supply. Now, state of technology. State of technology means whenever there is less wastage due to cold chain or new varieties that are less perishable, and the technology which saves time and cost, such as earlier most of the work was done by hands, now such as manual harvesting versus combined harvesting, it saves time because it takes only 1 hour and saves money. It takes only 1200 to 1800 rupees in case of worst scenarios, compared to manual labor. So the profit for the farmers have increased due to improvement in technology, because cost saving is there. When cost saving is there, price of the product is remaining same. So definitely those enterprises become more and more profitable for the farmers, and then more and more farmers are going to go for that crop wherein the cost reduction has been seen due to improvement in technology. So the more and more farmers means increased supply. Also, the number of producers directly varies, directly affect the supply. When there is more profit in the market, more and more producers are going to get into that business, and definitely the supply is going to increase correspondingly. The fourth factor that affects the shift, that leads to supply a shift in supply occurs is prices of related goods. When there are changes in the prices of related goods are of two types: substitutes and complements. When substitutes such as tea and coffee, both are substitutes. When the price of tea reduces, the demand for tea increases because more and more people can afford it now. And when you can see comparatively, when the prices of coffee is constant and price of tea is down, definitely demand for more and more people who are earlier taking coffee now shift to tea. And then the demand for coffee is going to reduce. If the demand for coffee has reduced, then why there would be a supply? So definitely the supply for coffee will also reduce. So the relationship between price of substitutes and supply of the other substitute is direct. That means when the price of tea reduces, supply of coffee reduces. Okay, because coffee drinkers shift towards tea. Complementary goods are petrol and the cars that are run by petrol. When the prices of petrol increases, the demand for petrol reduces a bit because more and more people are going to shift to electric vehicles or diesel vehicles. When the demand for petrol reduces, what happens is demand for cars also reduces. Demand for cars is definitely going to reduce, then only the demand for petrol is going to reduce, because people are going to move towards cars or vehicles that run on alternate fuels. When the demand for cars reduces, definitely the supply for cars will also reduce. So when the prices of one of the complementary goods increases, the supply of the other complementary good all goes in the other direction. These are inversely related. Make some examples of your own. Use your mind a little and just you'll understand it properly. I hope you have understood right now also. In case of substitutes, there is a direct relationship between the price and supply and quantity supplied of the other substitute, and in case of complements, there is an inverse relationship. Future expectations regarding prices. Rapeseed and mustard, for the case, if I am expecting the price for rapeseed and mustard is going to increase in the future, I'll not is going to increase in the future, what is going to happen? What is going to happen is I am going to decrease the supply of. I am not going to sell mustard, and like me, most of the people are not going to sell rapeseed and mustard if they have the information that in future the prices of mustard might increase. So the current supply of mustard in the market is definitely going to reduce. Okay, and when the prices of mustard are expected to reduce in the future, then most of the people will just try to sell their rapeseed and mustard in the market as it is right now, because in future the prices are going to reduce. So movements: original supply curve, increase in supply curve, and decrease in supply curve. You can just comprehend by these examples that what I am trying to say: increase and decrease. Now, when taxes are levied on, let's say, mobiles and textile, higher taxes are levied on businesses, their profits, and let's say their profits on their income and on the raw material. Let's say the prices, taxes have been increased from 18% to 28%. What is going to happen? These businesses are going to pass on those taxes to the consumer, and in the end, consumer is going to get the expensive product. And if the product is expensive for him, their demand for that product is going to reduce, and if their demand is going to reduce, these businesses will run out of their business, and definitely the supply is going to reduce. So due to taxes, movements can be this way. If they increase taxes, and due to taxes, the movement can be on the right side also if you reduce the taxes. Okay, I have told you the examples of both the things. When you are expecting that the price is going to increase in future, supply reduces. When you are expecting that price is going to decrease in future, supply increases. Now, what is elasticity of supply? It is denoted by ES. Law of elasticity of supply states that price is directly varies with supply. When the price increases, supply also increases. By how much? This is what we have not talked about till now. The law of supply does not say anything about it, and this is what is needed to the policy makers. This is what policy makers need about the supply. That is, what are going to be the changes in supply when we increase the taxes by this much percent, let's say 5%, when we increase the cost of raw material. So this is what is important for the policy makers. What are the figures, what is the quantum of change in the supply when we are going to do anything? Okay, this is told by elasticity or price elasticity of supply. Okay, the rate, it is defined as rate at which quantity supplied changes because of changes in price, or we can also say it that relative changes in quantity supplied due to relative change in price. Mathematically, it can be written as percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price, and this percentage change means initial supply divided by initial price into 100. These will cancel out, and this figure that is going to come is going to be unitless, and it is going to be absolute. That means it will always be considered as positive. It is never going to be considered as negative. Unitless, there is no unit for this. There are 5 types of elasticities of supply. For a given percentage change in price is on y-axis and quantity supplied is on x-axis. Just remember this thing always. Okay, for a given percentage change, that is 5% change in the denominator everywhere. Okay, let's see by how much the quantity supplied changes. When the price of something increases by 5%, the quantity supplied does not change by anything. These types of supply curves are called as perfectly inelastic, and they will be parallel to y-axis. Okay, now coming to the next type of elasticity. When the price of something increases by 5% and the quantity supplied increases by only 3% or less than 5%. To be very clear, let's say it increased by 3.5%, the value is going to be less than 1. Herein the value was infinity, the curve was called as perfectly inelastic. Herein value is less than 1, and curve is called as inelastic supply curve. And when the price increases by 5% and the quantity supplied also increases by same percentage, so the value of elasticity will be 1, and supply curve will be called as unitary elastic. It will be at 45 degrees from the x-axis as well as the y-axis, and it will be more, the inelastic curve will be more steeper. Okay, and when the price is increased by 5% and the quantity supplied increases by more than 5%, let's say 7% in the case, so the value of elasticity will be more than 1, and the supply curve will be called as elastic, and it will be more of a flatter supply curve. Perfectly elastic. When the price of something changes by, let's say, 5%, we just don't know by how much the quantity supplied is going to change. We just don't know. It can be anything. It can be infinite. Okay. Sorry, I just made a mistake here. In this case, the value of perfectly inelastic, the value of elasticity will be 0, and in the case of perfectly elastic, the value of elasticity will be infinite. We just don't know by how much the quantity is supplied is going to change. It might change by infinite percentages. So the value of elasticity here is infinite, and the range of value of elasticity varies from 0 to infinite. And as I told you in the previous slide, that this value is unitless and there is no sign to it. It is never negative, it is always positive. Okay, the names and the shapes are the things that are you must remember. What are the determinants of elasticity of supply? What things affect the value of elasticity of supply, whether it be 0, 1, greater than 1, less than 1, infinite? Okay, what leads to changes in the elasticity of supply of different things? When the time available to vary the supply is more, when the time available to vary the supply is more, that means let's say the price of mustard has increased by 5% right now, 5%. Okay, when the time is less, let's say it just increased for a day, we would be able to increase the supply by only a small quantity. But when the prices stay for a longer time, we will be able to vary the supply for a by a larger quantity. And when the time increases, let's say the price was earlier this, now it is this, and it is has stayed for a long period of time, we have increased our supply from this point to this point. And as you can see, I'll draw a new graph here. The price increase has gone from this to this, and earlier the quantity supplied was this much, and it has the quantity supplied was varied by a larger amount. And when we join these coordinates, when we see that we are going to get a flatter curve, that means the supply is elastic. More time available for varying the supply, after the change in price, the demand and the supply curve will be more elastic. Less time available, we will be able to vary the supply only by slight quantity, so the supply curve will be like this, it will be less elastic. More time, directly proportional to elasticity. Okay, input availability. Let's say when the supply of inputs that are used in making that product is elastic, that means the price of inputs does not change when the quantity supplied increases. This simply means this: the quantity supplied of inputs is when the more and more quantity of inputs is required, we are going to supply more and more of them, and if the prices remain the same. And this is called as a elastic or perfectly elastic supply curve. When the prices of inputs do not change even if we require more and more quantity of inputs, then what is going to happen? The thing that is going to happen is that the at the earlier prices of the output, let's say this was the price and we are supplying this much of quantity, and now if we are supposed to increase the quantity, if we want to increase the supply in the market, we will be needing more and more inputs. When we need more and more inputs, the prices are not changing, input supply is perfectly elastic, or you can say elastic, the prices are changing very slightly. So what is going to happen is we are able to increase our production without increasing the cost, or by increasing the price by only small amount, we are able to vary the supply by a larger amount. Okay, so this means when the supply of inputs is perfectly elastic, that means when we are going to increase our supply, our requirement for raw material is going to increase, the prices of raw material is going to same, our cost of production of output or cost of production of a good is going to remain the same. And when at the earlier prices, we are going to able to supply more and more quantity, same price, more supply, this price, more supply. Okay, that means elastic supply curve, or at a higher, slightly higher price, more supply, that means elastic supply curve. I think you got it right now. Now when the supply of inputs is elastic, that means when the quantity demanded increases, its their price does not change. If their price does not change, the cost of production of the goods does not change, and at the earlier price we are able to supply more and more. That means the supply curve is going to be elastic. Diversification in production. Let's say when we have 20 acres of land and we used to cultivate wheat and mustard. So as we got to know that in the coming year the prices of mustard are going to increase from 4,000 to 8,000 rupees per quintal. Definitely then what is going to happen? We are going to shift our land from wheat to mustard. Earlier 10-10 both. Now let's say we just cultivate 2 acres for our home and rest 18 acres for mustard. So if we are able to shift, there is a diversification in production, we will be able to shift land from wheat to mustard and our supply will increase. Okay, this makes our supply more elastic. Availability of markets. Let's say we used to sell our product in market 1, but we had an option of selling them in market 2 and market 3. And if the prices in this market are not moving very much and the prices here are more favorable to us, so we can shift our supply from market 1 to market 2 and market 3. Here the supply at the earlier price is going to reduce. At the earlier price, the supply in market 1 is going to reduce from this point to this point, and in these markets is going to increase. Okay, this is going to make the supply curve more elastic. If we have the option of selling these in these markets, all right, if the prices M2 was this much, okay, and prices have increased slightly in market 2. Earlier the prices were this much, now this has increased. If we have an option of shifting from market 1 to market 2, we will shift everything from market 1 to market 2. Okay, and when due to a slight increase in prices, our quantity supplied to the market 2 increases, it means the supply curve in market 2 is elastic. Flexibility in starting and winding up business. This is quite simple. When we have an option of starting a business and winding up a business with ease, there are not many costs associated with it. We can start and finish our business very easily. There are not much of licensing is required. So when the prices of something is high and profit expectations in the business are high, we can just enter into a business, start our business, earn profit, and when we feel like we are not earning enough profit, now we can wind up our business. If this is the ease of entering and winding up in the business, then the supply increases a lot with the slight increase in price. That means the supply is elastic. More flexibility directly related to elasticity. If there is an option of sending our product to different markets directly, directly proportional to the value of elasticity, more availability, more elastic. If there is a diversification, if there is a possibility of shifting our land from one crop to another crop, supply becomes more elastic. If the input availability is elastic, input supply is elastic, our supply becomes more elastic. If the time available for sale is a lot, our supply becomes more elastic. So these are the things I have discussed, and this was all about your chapter of supply, and these are the two books where you can read more about the topic, and if you have any doubts we can discuss them at any time you want. Okay, thank you very much.